Hi guys, in this video we're going to work on solving literal equations, which is page 9 in your summer packet. This skill is really important for calculus. There's a lot of times when they're going to ask you to isolate a variable in an equation with multiple variables. So you got to get used to treating the variables that you're not solving for as numbers, and then basically you're going to move them around as if you were solving a regular equation. So we'll start with number 11. It's best to see an example. Number 11, the instructions in the packet say to solve the equation for h. So that means we need to isolate h. If you look at this equation here, we're going to rewrite it with this 1/2. So the first thing I'm going to do is realize that what this is really saying is h times b1 plus b2 all over 2 is equal to a. When I do this, that's the same thing as 1/2. I'm allowed to do that because 1/2 is a fraction with the 2 in the denominator, so I can put it underneath of everything. This makes it a lot easier to get h by itself. So when I see this, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. That makes the left side equal to 2a. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, so let me undo that. But it's going to be 2 times a on the left is equal to h times b1 plus b2. Now h is almost by itself. We just need to divide by b1 plus b2. When I do that, that goes away. I divide this side by b1 plus b2. So I get h is equal to 2a divided by b1 plus b2. And I've now solved number 11. Basically all that you're doing is you're rearranging the equation to get one variable by itself. Like I said, this is important in calculus. It's also important in things like physics, where you want to maybe solve for velocity whenever you have an equation for something else. Or maybe you want to solve for mass when you have an equation for density. It's things like this that will help you in both science courses and higher level math. Number 12, similar, it's actually easier. We want to solve this one though for b. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 like I did in the previous one. That's going to cancel out the 2 on the denominator. So I get 2a is equal to b times h, and then all I need to do is divide by h, and I have b by itself. So we can say that b is equal to 2a divided by h. Number 13, it asked me to solve for d2. So the first thing I'm going to do as well in this problem is multiply by 2 to get rid of it on the other side as well. So I get 2a is equal to d1 plus d2. Because I want to get d2 by itself, I need to move d1, so I'm going to subtract d1. So here I have that 2a minus d1 is equal to d2, and I've now solved the problem. Number 14, similar, I'm going to solve for y. So this one's actually a little bit harder. Because I'm solving for y here, I want to multiply. I'm going to make this 7 over 1, and I'm going to cross multiply. This will then help me get my y out of the bottom of a fraction, which is weird to work with, and make it easier for me to solve this. So let's cross multiply this. Take 7 times yz and get 7yz. And I take 1 times 3x and gets 3x. Now all I need to do to get y by itself is divide by 7 and divide by z. So I'm going to divide by 7z at the same time. That gets y by itself. Divide by 7z on the other side. So my final answer is 3x over 7z. Not x, 7z. Let me cross that out. This is 3x over 7z is what my y is equal to. Okay, and the last one asked me to solve for y. So I need to first divide by 100. That gives me x squared y squared equals 25 over 100, which reduces to 1 over 4. Now I need to divide by x squared because I want to get y by itself. So I do that here. I get y squared equals. Now this is going to be 1/4 divided by x squared. That's the same thing as saying 1 over 4x squared. And now I'm going to take the square root to get y by itself. When I take the square root, I get plus or minus. Remember, I have to add that when I take the square root. And I take the square root of the top, so the square root of 1 is just 1. I take the square root of 4, that's just 2. I take the square root of x squared, and I get x. So this is y is equal to plus or minus the square root, or plus or minus 1 over 2x. And I've now solved 15. Here's how you solve literal equations. I'll see you next time for a video on solving polynomials.